Call Longview Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Board meeting to order, 10 o'clock at the City of Longview Chamber room. Number one on the agenda is welcome and introduction. Karen Owens.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm Karen Owen, the Transportation Planning Manager for the City of Longview. Thank you for your attendance today and for your interest in transportation.
Anything else? That's it. I also want to say the mayor was not able to be here today, and he asked me to fill in. So, number two, approval of the January 25th, 2017 meeting minutes. Karen?
Board members, the minutes were provided in your agenda packet sent out prior to today's meeting. Are there any changes or revision to the minutes?
Any changes to the minutes? Or if not, do we have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion.
A motion and a second?
Second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Number three on the agenda is approval of the revision of the FY17 United Planning Work Program. Ms. Owen?
Thank you, Judge. Board members, for your consideration and approval, I'm bringing one addition to the MPO's work plan, the ADA Transition Plan. The American with Disabilities Act requires cities to demonstrate ongoing progress with compliance issue, and an ADA transition plan will describe the methods that are currently being used and create a plan that will make the public right-of-way accessible. So this ADA transition plan documents how public works projects will trigger curb ramps and sidewalk replacement. It also documents the guidelines for designing and installing curb ramps, as well as identifying a process for reporting and reviewing ADA progress. The cost of the ADA plan is approximately $6,800, and it complements the goals of the bicycle and pedestrian plan. So we'd like to add it to the bike and ped plan when a consultant is hired this month. The technical committee recommended that this ADA transition plan be brought to the policy board for your approval. That concludes my remarks on this item. Are there any questions or comments from the public or from board members?
Any questions or comments from the public or the board members? If not, do I have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Number four, approval of transportation alternatives projects, letters of support. Karen?
Earlier this year, TxDOT issued a call for applications for the Transportation Alternatives Set-Aside Program. And this program targets special projects such as on-road bicycle improvements, such as bike lanes and bike routes, off-road shared paths, such as paved walking and bike trails, sidewalks in the public right-of-way, projects to provide safe routes to children who walk or bike to school, and infrastructure-related projects to improve safety for non-motorized transportation. Now, this is an 80-20 program. 80% of construction costs are covered when local entities provide a 20% match. Also, I was going to mention that this is a federal program, and the federal funds pass through the Texas Department of Transportation. This program is competitive statewide, and the applications are due on May 22nd. There are two cities in the MPO who are submitting applications. The City of White Oak is planning to submit an application for sidewalks along White Oak Road from the school campuses at Center Street to Bermuda Street on the east side of the roadway. The sidewalk project will create a safer route to White Oak schools and encourage walking and bicycling. This project connects White Oak School campuses to the neighborhoods to the north, and the length of the sidewalk is about 1 mile. If selected for funding, this project will provide a vital pedestrian and bicycle link between neighborhood schools, the elementary school, high school stadium, and athletic fields where children and students can walk or bike in a safe environment. And Charlie Smith with the City of White Oak is here. Charlie, did you want to add anything to the project? Any other comments? Did I leave anything out?
No, I think that's good.
Okay, very good. A second project, let's see if I can get this just right. Just a moment. A second project is the Longview Economic Development Corporation, in partnership with the City of Longview, is also submitting an application. The city's plan includes the construction of 2 off-road, shared-use paths for access throughout the city. Currently, there are 4 paved trails used by walkers, runners, and bicyclists. In yellow on this map, the Cargill, Aiken, Guthrie, and Borman trails are shown. This project fills in 2 of the gaps and provides about 10 miles of continuous paved, shared-use paths. Closing the gaps will provide access from Loop 281 to the center of the city as an alternative transportation route for non-motorized users, while connecting to Spur 63, McCann, and Spur 502, Judson Road, as well as US 259. It'll provide access from residential areas to business centers to the north and connects to schools and retirement facilities. So where these multi-use paths intersect at Judson and McCann Road, 2 underpasses will be constructed. The Longview application is still under development and the costs are not yet finalized. And I understand that the local participation will be higher than the required 20% match. While we're on the topic of shared use paths and sidewalks, I wanted to mention that we're in the process of hiring a consultant to develop a comprehensive bicycle and pedestrian plan for the MPO area. We're looking at creating a plan for bicycling and walking modes of transportation as well as recreation. So it's easy to see that both of these projects support the concepts of alternative transportation by adding segments to this transportation network. The Bike and Ped Plan, along with the projects in White Oak and Longview, help us to become a more walkable community and doing so more safely. In closing, I'd like to say that when the board approves letters of support, the board agrees at a later date to formally adopt these projects into the short-range transportation plan if the White Oak or LEEDCO projects are selected for funding. And that concludes my remarks. Are there any questions?
Any questions from Ms. Owen? If not, do I have a motion to approve the adoption of the Longview Transit Asset Management Performance Target Program?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. I guess there was not even a need for that, was there?
No, there was. Did you want to make the motion again for letters of support?
Okay.
Yes.
I'll make the motion to support the letters of, the what?
It's agenda item number 4.
Got ahead of ourselves.
Oh, got ahead of ourselves. Approve the transportation alternative projects letters of support, sorry. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. So we've already done 5? I
We'll do
just
that
jumped
now.
over that?
We'll do that now.
We approved
Okay.
it already, but we
Okay, we already approved it. Go ahead, Ms. Owen.
All right. If you'll go ahead and call number 5 to order officially, would you go ahead and call the item?
Item number 5, Brent Bradberry.
Thank you for already adopting. It made my job a lot easier. But this morning, for your consideration, is the adoption of Longview MPO Transit Asset Management Performance Targets.
It's very touchy.
Yeah. So map 21 passed in 2012 required the FTA and FHWA to develop performance-based and outcome-driven programs. And out of that, the Transit Asset Management Rule passed in 2016 required transit providers to establish state of good repair performance targets for their fleet and facilities. And also passed in 2016, the statewide metro and non-metro planning rule required MPOs to establish state of good repair targets once the transit providers have established their targets, as long as that transit provider is within their MPO area. So out of that, the FTA, to assist in that process, the FTA published default useful life benchmarks for rolling stock and also a 1 to 5 rating scale for facilities. From that, Longview Transit, our transit operator within our MPO area, has chosen to use these default useful life benchmarks established by the FTA. And for consistency's sake, the Longview MPO is proposing adoption of these same useful life benchmarks for facilities and rolling stock. And those default benchmarks are shown on the screen in your handouts for buses, cutaway buses, minivans, vans, and automobiles and trucks. And then from the 1 to 5 scale facilities, adequate and above is preferred, and we're currently at adequate for our facilities. And That concludes the transit asset management performance targets for the Longview MPO area for adoption.
Any questions for Brent? If not, let's do this right. Let's have another motion regarding this. So we do it. We have a motion to adopt the Longview Transit Asset Management Performance Targets.
So
We
moved.
have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Thank you. At this time, number 6, citizen comment. Would anyone like to come forward and have citizens comment?
I would like to talk now, if it's all right.
If you could identify yourself for the record, Charlie.
My name is Charles Smith. I'm the city manager at White Oak. I just wanted to elaborate a little bit on the letter that we were speaking about a little bit, and the project that White Oak is doing or wanting to do up on our White Oak Road from the school all the way up to Bermuda. We applied for that last time, and it did not get accepted as one of the projects. I think, at the meeting the other day, at the MPO meeting that I was at, TxDOT stated that they had earmarked $40 million for the expansion of Highway 42 from the interstate up to Highway 80. I think that that's going to be a big factor for White Oak Road in the future. I'll probably be gone from White Oak when this happens, but for this project to be funded for this sidewalk project, I truly feel like that the traffic that we're going to see going through our city is going to increase considerably because also of the George Ritchie expansion that's coming through. I feel like White Oak Road will become a cut through to be able to get to the north part of Longview and Gregg County up in that area in Upshur County. So I guess I just wanted to kind of make everyone aware of that looking out here 10 years into the future, this sidewalk project, one of these days it's going to have to go in just to make things safe for the kids there and the people that utilize White Oak Road as a running trail. And as our mayor can, he could attest to that there's people up and down that road all the time. So I just kind of wanted to bring that to y'all's attention, how I felt that things are going to just progress throughout, the next 10 years. I think that we're going to see a lot more traffic through the city of White Oak because of these future expansions of George Ritchie and Highway 42. So just want to pass that along to you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. Thanks for everything that y'all do also, because it's really important for our community, the things that are, accepted and passed here.
All right, any other citizens comment? Any staff comments?
Yes, Judge, I have one.
Imagine that.
As I mentioned earlier, the MPO is in the process of hiring a consultant for the bicycle and pedestrian plan to develop a connected bike and ped network for both transportation and recreational purposes. This bike plan will reflect current conditions as far as what do we have on the ground today. It'll check levels of support and interest, and so public engagement will be a big part of that plan. And then also create a prioritized list of projects, which projects have high priority, medium, and low priority, as well as provide cost estimates as we move forward to assist with funding and with programming for construction. The selected consultant for the Bike and Ped Plan is Tool Design Group, and I'm very pleased with their national credentials and specialized experience of about 14 years. They're highly qualified in bike and ped planning, and they've worked with smaller cities. The plan will be developed over a period of about 12 months at a cost of $145,000. So from the very start of the Bike and Ped Plan, we'll be asking for the board's input and feedback as that plan is being developed.
Okay, any questions?
The board previously approved the Bike and Ped Plan, so there's no action required on this item.
Thank you.
Just want to give you an update.
Any questions for Karen regarding the update? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.